This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas. This program
Hey, here we go. It's Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more, worldwide TV entertainment, womenOnTV.tv, live on Talk 4 Media, radio podcasting TV, also on K4 HD. And my mind is kind of screwed up right now because there's so much stuff going on. Technology is great, but not during a retrograde, right? We all know what that's like. So with all that stuff going on, don't forget we're streaming live on iTunes 247 right now. Obviously, womenontv.com and womenontv.tv.com. So here's the thing about this. It's so good to have Terri Marie here nonstop.
Hi.
Here's a woman who's got over 3 million views and still counting till this day. And I'm so proud of her because she's been pretty good. She's been pretty good. I can't say anything bad about her. She's
Thanks,
getting
Brian.
back to everything. I know I'm complimenting you for once. Usually it's the other way around, right?
No.
I know. So all the way from around the beach, the one and only nonstop Terri Marie. And this is a special one, Terri. We haven't seen this young lady. It's been over a year. The last time Terri, I'm talking here. I'm not done yet. We got to do a proper introduction for Katerina. We haven't seen our friend since 2019. My birthday. All right. So America Media's mindset mentor. I like this new one, and I think she likes this, the mastermind set of Katerina Cozias. TV host, American Mindset mentor, best-selling author on Amazon, and we always talk about this book, whether she's here or not, with her writing partner, Danielle Martins out of Portugal, Rising Up from Mental Slavery, How to Unleash Your Infinite Potential. And that's a great thing. So the one and only, and I usually don't even have to introduce you. I let her introduce herself. Katerina, who are you? Where are you coming from?
Oh, thanks, guys. I know I've taken a bit of a sabbatical. So today I'm actually coming to you from Athens, Greece. It's literally 3 a.m. here.
Wow.
And I was like, I haven't been on a show for a while. I've been working through some family things. COVID hit. I finally got to travel. And we've got a Greek guest on today. So between her being an author and her being Greek and my missing all you folks, Terri,
and you being Greek.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, I'm just excited to be here today. And, for you watching at home, you're in for a great time because we always have it.
And all the way from Texas. So any of you guys who know, I'm a drum and bugle corps fan. My Instagram is called Drum Corps Net, one of them. The other one is movie reviews and more. So we competed against each other. We didn't know it. We've never met, but it's one of those things right there. And our friend Danielle Martins from Portugal, she's up too. What is it? Is it 1 o'clock her time in the morning, I think? But it's one of these things like this. Singer, songwriter, musician, composer, individual snare drum winner, a couple years there. That's a big thing. March with the Crossmen Drum and Bugle Corps. Also march with the Blue Devils Drum and Bugle Corps. Again, this guy's done a lot of stuff. I call him the Phil Collins of the drumming world. He doesn't know that, but I call him that. Because anybody who can be a drummer, a world-class teacher, pick up a guitar, start singing and playing to all these audiences around the country and not know that he's going to be where he is today, the one and only Rob Robertson. Rob,
hi, everybody.
Pleasure to be here. Our
Thank
fellow
you.
drum corps nuts there.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me on. And wow, what an introduction. I hope I can live up to half of what you talked about there. But that's a lot of things going on these days. Yep, a lot of things going on.
And here's our other thing. My Greek godmother, she chose me. I didn't choose her, but I was honored that she said that. and I called in Terri. I called up Katerina. I said, we got to have you on. We got to have Joanne behind us from Toronto, Ontario on, because I can't talk Greek. She gave me a Greek last name. Katerina said, this is what it means. And I said, you know what? I've got to have her on. I've been waiting for this show for 2.5 months. Rob was booked. She was booked. I've been waiting for this for the longest time. She's a best-selling, actually, you know what? Let me correct that. International best-selling author of Socrates and Soc. She's in Cyprus right now. She's having some technical difficulties, but she's around there. And when she pops in, we'll bring her in with us. I'm just going to call her Maria.
I was going to say, Brian, you talked about, Mercury retrograde. And for those of you that aren't into astrology, Mercury basically controls communication and technology. And I used to think this was all like hokey pokey, until it really becomes clear to me that every time there's a darn retrograde, we're having tech issues, like every time. So I think we're in it till June 27th, I think.
Yeah. Yep. And it goes a little bit further.
Yeah. I haven't had any problems lately.
Really?
Good.
Oh, good.
Good, Terri. Let's put it that way.
Well, I've been manifesting that I'm not going to have any problems. It's not happening, so.
That's a good thing. So here, let's go to Rob real quick. So Rob, what's been happening with you? Because you've got a long storied career, and for all those drum and bugle corps people out there, you've gone on to do great things. Talk about how you started being in Westchester, Pennsylvania, being in that musical family, because that's an important role. And then to keep everything going from the 70s, 80s, and here you are today. Talk about that.
Well, that seems like years ago, which it was, the mid to late 1960s. Brian, we talked before about this. Both of my mom and dad were in drum corps in the 1950s. And so at a young age, my dad, for me, my father was still teaching and judging and very involved in many ways. And I just sort of rolled right into it. And late 60s, early 70s, I had a little time with a parade corps from Delaware County, Pennsylvania. And eventually, of course, that the Crossmen formed in 1975. And I was very fortunate to be charter member. And then just kind of, did that for a long time, man, a really long time. Sometimes I think it was a little too long. But, because I'm enjoying a different time of life right now with writing songs and singing and recording and just doing a lot of fun stuff there. I wish in some ways I would have started this much earlier. But, life is funny that way. You just kind of take what comes along and what seems right at the time. And I'm in a really good place right now. Really good place.
So, Katerina, you love music. Every time I think of, EDM music and anything like this, I think of you. So now I've been getting all these people who write these things like that. Rob writes a different type of thing, but this guy is so talented that the drum corps world is always still watching him, but he's got a whole new base and stuff of things out there. Katerina, when it comes to music, what keeps you going? Because you've been traveling a lot. And I'm like thinking maybe she's listening to something I haven't heard yet.
The thing that I'm coming to realize, and Rob, you probably, Rob and Brian, because you're a drum corps guy as well, you probably know, for me, music is vibration, right? Mm-hmm. And so you feel it in your core, you feel it in your cells. It has the ability to make you happy. And when I get in a pissy mood, sometimes I just get in the car and I put on my music and my entire mood switches. I've got 2 little nephews. They're 5 and 7. And when they get cranky, I start putting on some music, and I'm telling you, it does wonders.
Well, I can't get a workout in without my music. I just can't. I can't. And there's something about it. It's like, well, I have to listen to rock music when I'm working out so I get myself motivated. But if I don't have my headphones, it's like I kind of go a little nutty. So.
And you can keep going, Terri, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is good. You can go for another hour.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I try to get into connection with my body, but I then try to hear the music. So because exercising and fitness is about mind-body connection also. So sometimes it's good for my cardio to kind of listen to music, but sometimes when I'm weightlifting, though, I kind of have to concentrate a little bit more. If that makes any sense.
So Rob, this makes an interesting thing because music, I mean, there's two things that keep everybody going. For me, it's movie. Now it's going back into music. But I started in music because of drum corps, and that's why I wanted to be a disc jockey back in the day, coming from that, because I felt that was the only thing that I could do. With you moving on, and like I said, I call you the Phil Collins of the new music of today. Talk about all of that stuff, how you started, and what Katerina was saying, and what Terri was saying. Oh, and my Greek godmother just chimed on. So we're going to go to Maria in a couple of minutes. Go ahead, Rob.
Great. Well, it was a very interesting transition, and not a very finesseful one, if I could use that word. Drum corps taught me a lot about fundamentals, but also about preciseness and excellence. And so musically speaking, I grew up at a young age even with an influence of being precise and very good and as exact as we could with the things we were doing. And getting back to Terri, I believe it was just talking about rock and roll. Rock and roll, what makes rock and roll so good is it's not so precise all the time, and so, I transferred to being a singer-songwriter later in life, like in my late 20s, to be honest with you. I was always playing drums up to that point, when I just got a real, something came over me that I was enjoying writing some lyrics and singing a little bit, and I just wanted to write. And so when I picked up the guitar, I was not the same guy on guitar as I was on drums. And that was a really hard thing for me to accept. So I never really went out, put myself out there early on as a guitarist, because I had a level of achievement as a drummer that I expected to be on guitar as well. Never got there with that, and I still don't, but it has become a wonderful writing tool. And from a music perspective, I've adapted a lot of things that I write to my abilities on guitar, which is very folky, very sort of, I have some great rock songs on the new album. I really do. I'm very excited about that. But I love picking up my guitar and finger picking some stuff and starting a story. And, so it's kind of an interesting thing. In some ways, my lack of abilities, if you will, on guitar sort of made me into the songwriter I am. And because if I was the songwriter I was as a snare drummer, I don't know what I'd be doing. I couldn't even anticipate what that would sound like or look like. So, yeah, that's, kind of a little bit of the journey, Brian.
And with that, Maria, I hope you can hear us, because I know we're going to have a lag, but you know what? We're going to do the best that we can. So, Maria, my lovely godmother, let's talk about who you are. Talk about where you are. Let's talk about your book. Go ahead.
Okay. I can hear you, but sometimes the voice cut off, so you hear me well. My name is Maire Xenidou, and I am the author of the book Socrates and Soc. I come from Cyprus, Nicosia, actually, the capital of Cyprus. Cyprus is a Greek island, as you all know. And lately I wrote the book Socrates and Soc. That's my book, which became an international bestseller. And I'm very, very happy about this. What else would you like me to say, Brian?
Maria, I'm just happy to have you on. I'm happy to be part of the Greek family officially. I couldn't wait to tell Katerina this, because I didn't see it coming, for one, but I'm also honored. And again, Terri, I didn't really tell you so much about this. She says, Brian, she said she liked the interview. I thought it was okay. I'm going to be your Greek godmother. And I started telling people, and I just know they didn't believe what I was talking about. They just thought I must have been nuts. But I said, you know what? And she also says this, Brian, you're coming to Cyprus to see me, and you're going to come and you can bring a couple people. And I said, oh, so Katerina's got to come. Terri, I'll think about Terri.
I've never been to Greece.
Oh my gosh, Terri,
that's on my bucket list. I mean, I've pretty much been all over Europe, but I have not been to Greece.
And Rob, the funny thing about this, it wasn't about music, but when you think of Greek tradition, you're thinking about music. You're thinking about that culture. And you know what? Some of our favorite drum and bugle corps songs that we played, you know, Zorba the Greek and a couple other things as we were playing as percussions, that brings me back to the day of that rich Greek tradition. Too bad I can't speak it. But Maria, you're doing a good job.
Yeah, indeed.
Well,
so, Katerina, go ahead.
I was going to say we have to give Maria a proper Greek welcome. So, Maria, καλώς ήρθατε.
Yes. Hello, Katerina.
and you know, going back to the music, I think the thing about Greeks and anyone that has had
Well, it's kind of, but I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, I think you're still getting a little bit of a lag, Brian, with her. But you know, the thing about Greeks, I think the thing about most people, but Greeks especially, we're known for dancing, for breaking plates, right? So we get really into the music.
Yes.
Hey, Rob, you can talk about that. Remember?
Well, I've been to just a note as far as the Greek music and the way they get into it. I don't have a lot of experience but I did attend a Greek wedding one time, and let me tell you, it was something to behold. Yeah.
Was it big and fat?
The big fat Greek wedding.
Pretty much, yeah.
I think we lost Maria. We lost Maria to the tech.
We'll get her back.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, have you performed for traditional Greek or anything like it? Because that's a big, huge thing.
For what now, Brian? For traditional?
For anything Greek-wise like that, because you have a vast category in your library.
I have not. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. You know, you never know. I could have been performing in a club or a bar setting where there was a Greek wedding going on next door or something. You know, but never done that. Maybe in my future, who knows? Yeah,
that's true. Katerina, talk about your background, where you came from, and where you are today, because you're reinventing yourself to become bigger and better.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for that. I think all of us have been through a little bit of a turbulent time the last little while. And as an author myself, I was really excited to get onto this program today. Number one, because I'm a music fan, Rob. Number two, because I miss you, Terri and Brian. And number three, because Socrates, I'm literally in Athens right now, Brian, under the Acropolis, which is the birthplace of democracy, of science, of math, the great philosophers, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates. So I'm excited about Maria's story, and, if we can get her back on, because her story is about a kid that is living in Athens and basically walking at the same footsteps as the great philosopher Socrates. And his name is also Socrates, but it's Soc for short, because, hey, it's 2020 and we're all cool.
Right.
And I think reinvention is something that we have to do. Stagnation will lead to dissension. And if you're not changing, if you're not moving, if you're not growing, you're dying. And what I love about everyone that we work with, and, Rob, you can attest to this as well, being in music, you got to keep changing. You've got to keep offering something new.
Yeah, very true. I don't want to step. If Maria's back on, we can get her in. I agree with you, Katerina. And I think that constantly reinventing yourself is so important. And I guess for some people it is, for some people it's not. I know for me, and it's not always easy either. You can get stuck sometimes and not be sure what direction you're heading, or maybe not feel comfortable with sort of your brand or what you're trying to do with yourself. But I think that if you just follow your insides, follow your instincts, your heart and soul, I mean, usually that leads you into the right places. It might take a while, but it kind of leads you in the right places.
And Maria, we got your back, and I expect a lag, and that's okay. The fact that my Greek godmother is here, she keeps hopping in and out. She's really checking in on me to make sure I'm being good. That's really what it is. So we got to say hi to Danielle Martins. Obviously, she's in Porto. Got to say hi to Judy O'Brien. She is in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, founder, president of Hashmark Publishing International. Maria, let's talk a little bit about how you wrote the screenplay for Socrates and Soc. She might have froze a little bit. Yeah, she did freeze a little bit.
You froze in a good pose, though. You look great, Maria.
Yeah.
I know. Exactly. So I'm going to go into this. I love the people from Hashmark. And Katerina, you talked to Dave, you talked to Judy. I really like what they're doing when it comes to authors. Not only are they like clicking on, Danielle is doing a great job. And again, talk about your writing partner. Who better to talk about that than you?
Oh, absolutely. I love the team at Hashmark, primarily because this is the one thing most authors forget. Authors are creative. They get the download. They write the book. And unless they choose the right publisher, the right marketing team, the right distribution team, no one's ever going to see that book. And the team at Hashmark is amazing for that. Danielle and I were introduced to them. And Danielle, for those of you who don't know, is my co-author. She's also a co-host. And she is working out of Portugal. She and I wrote the book that Brian alluded to at the beginning of the program called Rising Up from Mental Slavery, How to Unleash Your Infinite Potential. Because exactly to the point that we were discussing, transformation is important. And Danielle and I had found, having been in a mastermind online a few years ago, that we were two women from two separate parts of the globe having two very, very similar experiences in our personal awakening. And we teamed up, we co-authored this book, and it's been nothing but upside since then. And, Terri, I know that you have, in the world of fitness, in the world of keeping ahead of the game, you know what it takes to be the best. And for anybody watching this, I don't want to say it takes work because it's a mindset. I think it takes passion.
It's definitely a passion. I think anything that you want in life, you have to put your mind to it. And nothing comes easy. Nothing is given to you. If you fail, you're not a failure. You just pick up and learn and you become that much better. I mean, I kind of say every time I do a competition, if I don't place where I want to place, I'm competing with myself, not anybody else. So I'm winning just being on stage and I better myself. So that's how I try to run my life.
And Rob, what I figured out from the authors, they're great people. I mean, we've developed real friendships. I mean, yesterday alone, I talked to 7 of them in 7 different countries. Yesterday morning, West Coast time. I go, oh my God, I could see what's going to happen. I'm going to start talking to nothing but authors from around the world. But again, the great thing about this is that they're great people, and they're just like how we started in the drum corps world.
Yeah.
A lot of them wrote their book during COVID, and I was really impressed with it. They had never done anything before. And then a lot of them have gone on to be best or international best-selling authors. And that made me happy, that the fact that they want to come on movie reviews and more, they're watching what we're doing around the world, and that we developed a great, relationship and partnership with them. But it's no different from taking us off the street and teaching us how to drum. That's what I figured out. It's almost the same.
Exactly. Yeah, and I liked what Terri said there about, never feeling like you're a failure, even if you get knocked down, because, and Brian, you and I are a testament to that. I mean, in drum corps, there's no way you're just going to enter into a drum corps and take first place and stay there for the rest of your life. It doesn't happen. And, even as an individual soloist in the 70s, I started out in 6th place and, eventually got the opportunity to win. As a singer-songwriter, I started with songs that I would be afraid to sing for my mom, and now I have I'm working on my 3rd album. So it's the type of thing that like everybody was alluding to. If you have it in you and you really feel passionate about it, then you just don't give up. You don't stop no matter what. Or being an author, I would love to write a book. I have such admiration for our guest, who unfortunately we're having a hard time getting on tonight. But I love writing at anything really. Songs are kind of where my energy goes right now. But there are nights when I sit on my computer and just journal for hours, and I think, man, maybe someday, maybe it'll be a book too.
Well, Rob, Katerina and I, we know a few people, so you just never know, right? And
That's
Katerina,
right.
let me know this because I do see it's similar in the world of drum and bugle corps. These are some of the best musicians, teachers in the world that a lot of people have never heard of. And to me, it's not any difference because you guys are writing original and taking something like a Star Wars or a Rocky theme and playing it. And then that's where I learned classical music. You know what? Judy says this, Rob, we can get back to you. So she's watching. And that's a great thing. But Katerina, you could talk about this. What was it like? Because I still don't know. What was it like to write your book when you did yours? Because, when we get Maria back, we're going to talk about how she wrote hers. She wrote a screenplay first and then turned it into her book. And she's got interest with filmmakers and things like that, which I'm going to help her do. So talk about that, Katerina.
Well, I think as human beings, we are creative outlets, and they talk about co-creation. And Rob talked about the word passion. I talked about the word passion. People see millionaires or multimillionaires and they think, that guy must work really, really hard. And my observation has been that people get into alignment. Once you're in alignment, like Rob just said, you don't mind sitting there for 2 or 3 hours journaling because it doesn't feel like work, And I think for authors that get inspired, they have such and the same thing with musicians, Brian, I think you'd say the same thing. And even Terri, the same thing with athletes. There's something innately inside you that says, I want to express the energy of source of intelligent, creative energy in the world. And we as human beings are simply the vessel, is what I believe. Yeah. And, some people are great at building things. Other people are great at athletics. Other people are great at music. I think for authors, they have the ability to articulate a story that has never before been told. That's the genius. And when you couple that with a team like Hasmark, who has the ability to, again, distribute that genius, then everyone in the world benefits because you're off to the races. I think it's about sharing our passions and really making everyone uplifted by that level of energy.
Hey, Rob, you'll like this one. So Hashmark is the only publishing company in the world that has AR. So imagine you showing how you started your drum and bugle corps world on into music, and that pops out of the book. They're the only publishers in the world that have that. That's one thing that I really like them on. But they got a great marketing team. I did an interview with Dave yesterday of that. And I just love these people. Not only is a music guy, but they're fans of other people. And a lot of these people just come in and they're just wonderful people. They're no different from the drum and bugle corps community that were taken off the street, or those people now who are coming from those music schools who can just play anything. But again, they really know how to market the people, and I can't talk highly enough about them. And again, I would have, I always go back to Katerina's book because I sometimes have to remind her what she wrote in her own book, right, Katerina? Because she wrote some great stuff in there.
Yeah. No, it's motivational, inspirational, and I think for anybody that's looking for a little bit of a leg up, we go through waves, right? Some years are good, some years are bad. And as long as we are good with ourselves, I think that is sometimes the challenge right there, and Terri, you said it, you're not competing with the guy next to you. You're competing against yourself and making yourself better and stronger and brighter.
I think it applies to anything, whether you're running a business, whether you're an athlete, you're a writer. I think it applies to anything that you do in life that you want, any goal that you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Rob, talk about this. So when, we are big in Tennessee. We have 4,400,000 views and whatever 100 views and going on that strong. Talk about when you went to Nashville and you went to Memphis and you took your mom with you. Talk about that.
Wow, that's just a great story, and not one that I think when a lot of singer-songwriters do maybe in their life. This is a great story because it really hits the heart. I think we're going back to 2015, and I was living back east at that point, down in Maryland, and anyway, I was playing a gig in Philadelphia one night, and after the gig, we all went out to the diner. And my parents happened to be with us that night, and they came out with us, and a whole crew of us went out to get a bite to eat after the show. And I started talking about the tour that I had booked, which was down to Norfolk, Virginia, Nashville, Memphis, a couple places. And out of nowhere, my mom just sort of, she just goes, I want to go to Nashville. And I just looked over at her, and I almost didn't pay attention to her at first. And then she kind of let me know that, she was serious and she wanted to go with me. And I was thinking, wait a minute, I'm not going to bring my mom on the road with me, right? But after I dropped the ego for a second and thought about the value of taking my elderly mom with me on the road, and she just loves country music, and so she went with me, and we spent a week and a half on the road together. We were listening to music all day through the drive, driving together. Now, here's the part I don't want to make a sad story here, but my mom passed away from cancer a year and a half ago. And so one of the things that crossed my mind when she asked me if she could go was, this might be the only opportunity I ever get to do something like this with her. And sure enough, it was. But let me tell you, I have pictures. We had a great time. She watched me play in 5 or 6 venues over a week and a half, and memories for a lifetime,
I love that story because it's important. Again, I take everything serious because I tell my friends what can be given today can be taken away tomorrow. So I don't take any of these things lightly. And even all the things that we're doing around the world, it's a lot of work. And Rob, it's no different from rehearsing 8, 10, 12 hours in that drum and bugle corps that we used to do. It is exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
When I'm working on Christmas, whatever, I want the girls to have their brand shine. In my head, I'm working on Katerina right now. I'm working on Terri now. I'm working on Victoria because we're all influencers for the stuff that we're doing, simply because we went to Tennessee to do our shows out of there. And Katerina, you'll like this number. What is it? 1,234,000 and something views and still counting.
Wow.
Still going up.
Yeah.
That's the one show.
Brian, Terri, and I had a great time in Nashville a few years ago.
Oh yeah.
And we shot a show there, and like Brian said, over a million views.
Yeah.
Which is really, really awesome. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's funny because I love my new home in Texas. Texas has a lot to offer. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and there's a good music scene around here. I've been recording at this wonderful place called Crystal Clear Sound in Dallas. They've done a great job on the new album. Pete Miller's been producing it for me, and I'm very excited about this. And I really do like Texas a lot. Every now and then, Roseanne and I talk about maybe heading to Nashville. That could be. We might save that for retirement or something. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, talk about this. So what's your week been like? Because I've got to always check in on you. Katerina, by the way, she's been pretty good. I'm actually proud of her.
Yay.
What has my week been like this week? Is that what you said? I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, exactly. So far, I got to check on you,
I'm closing business deals for my corporate side because I do a lot of crap. Not a lot of crap, but I mean a lot of stuff. Anyway, I'm working on closing some deals for that, and then I've been I'm training with Mustafa again for a show. I got to pick a show, but I started doing my prep diet, which I've been putting that off. But so,
Terri, can I ask you a question? Just female to female.
Yeah,
because you're always looking stellar. Your body's amazing.
Oh God, thank you.
Do you still feel that push that a lot of us women feel, which is like, it's March, bikini season's coming up. Okay, now it's June. I should be in bikini mode. Now it's August. Oh, damn, I missed it.
No, because I'm in bikini mode 24/7 because that's why I'm on TikTok wearing bikini. So that's just who I am. I mean, I like to wear bikinis. I think it helps living in Southern California. Well, that's true, but I mean, I've just been a gym rat my whole life, and I think they broke the mold when they made me. I don't know.
We only need one of you. We don't need two of you. No.
Yeah,
one is enough.
No. I just always have like been really active into fitness and stuff. But I mean, us as women, we're always hard on ourselves. I mean, like if I feel like I've got like a little bit of a bloat going on my stomach, yeah, of course we are. Like, you know, you want to be perfect, but we're not. And then sometimes we see flaws that other people don't. And then I have to remind myself that, like, sometimes when I start tearing myself apart, it's like no one else is looking at, you know, that part of cellulite that I got on my leg there, whatever. They just don't. So you have to learn to love yourself no matter where you are. If you're in a fitness journey and let's say you're not exactly where you are, you're overweight, you still have to love yourself. And if you love yourself, you're going to achieve that much more. Again, that goes with anything you do. Because if you don't take care of yourself mentally, spiritually, eat the right diet, I mean, you're not going to be successful at all. It's all mind-body connection, what I was saying before, with anything that you do.
Mm-hmm. So, Rob, I have to always remind her that she has over 3 million views and still counting, compared to her 15,000 followers on TikTok or whatever she has.
I have 20.
And I go, and Katerina, you can rely on this because Katerina,
I have 20.
Oh, you got 20 now. All right,
no,
so
25.
Rob, what is the bigger number? Over 3 million a day and counting, or 25?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm still thinking about being in a bikini situation.
Rob's still the
pressure. I left that mode a long time ago. But yeah, that's a lot of followers. That's really great.
And Katerina, you're almost at 1.2 right now. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, well, you know, I think Brian, when you've got good information to share, people are going to gravitate to it. You know, you're going to be attracted to good energy, and we really always try to put out good energy. You know, that's why I love doing these shows, because we always find amazing guests, have amazing conversations, and I'm a big believer that life is supposed to be fun.
So here's the thing, Rob. She hasn't done a show in a long time. You haven't missed a beat, Katerina, which we knew already. It's just a matter. I think it's time for her to come back. And you know what? With Maria, you know, she's having bad connections there. We're gonna have her back. I'm not gonna move anybody, but I'm gonna have her back real quick because she's my Greek godmother, and we have to go to Cyprus either October, November. So I've got to have her on. And again, a lot of people don't know it. I haven't read her book yet because I'm waiting for it to come to me. But she's so modest, and she's such a great businesswoman too, that I like and love what she's doing. And we have great conversations when I call her, and she's always like, she goes, Brian, I don't want to do anything without you. I'm like, don't worry, you have a whole team of other females besides me. So she's happy about that. But with those things like that, Katerina, talk about the speaking world, because we're going to have you shine in a different way. What are you seeing out there? What are you not seeing out there?
Yeah, so my background, Brian, as you know, has been professional media, public relations, communications for over 20 years. I deviated slightly, and I went into the speaking world after I'd authored my book. And of course, you know what happened, folks, this last couple of years to the world of events, right? It just absolutely disappeared. When COVID first hit, people started moving their forums to online conferences, online seminars. And I think everybody by the middle of last summer got online whiplash. I mean, I was being invited to things and I'm going, I just don't want to open a computer anymore. So the entire speaking world has changed. I love this stage. I love to get energy from real people. And I think that this is another one of those examples where we have to roll with the punches, get innovative, get re-inspired. And when somebody has a message to share, whether it's through their music, whether it's through their book, whether it's through their words, in any art form, I believe that humans will always find an outlet. So even though events as we know them have paused for a time being, my ability and my inclination and my excitement to get on stage and share information is really through the roof still, Brian. So I'm excited to get to a place where we're back.
Yeah.
And Rob, talk about when you were locked down, you were writing, but also I don't think you really missed a beat either when we did our first show last year.
Yeah, that was a pretty good time, actually. I love getting up every day and having that cup of coffee and just coming in my studio, and whether I pick up my guitar and start messing with something new, or I get on my get into my recording software and I start kind of working on massaging a song, getting it to where I want it to be, or even just picking up the drumsticks and playing some solos. But I'll tell you, when we went on lockdown, I know it wasn't a great thing for our world. I know a lot of people lost loved ones, and I really have the most empathy for them. I had a pretty good year, though. I mean, all in all, I got creative. I was able to get out and do some things, and I was very, very happy with and eventually, of course, got into the studio, and even in the studio, the guys at Crystal Clear were very adamant about everybody having masks on, and we really followed protocol, safety procedures. But we were able to get some work done, and it was great. It was really good.
Hey, Terri, talk about our studio. I'm very, very careful on who I have come in there. This coming up Tuesday, we got 4 shows. We've never done 4 shows back to back to back. The good thing about this is that Linda Steele is sending us our meals from Macro Made Meals. That's the good thing, because 45 minutes in between each show. Katerina, you know what it's like to do a show. You're like mentally and physically exhausted. Terri, I hope you're ready for this next week, because I'm going to be relying on my, what do I call her? I call her my sidekick, Katerina. and I think she likes that, because she really is.
Great one.
Yeah, I am your sidekick. I've been with you for over 6 years. Is it 6 years now? How long is it?
Yeah, it is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so here's the other thing. As I'm working on Katerina, Rob, I'm working on Terri, to get our own little red carpets going at the studio, doing it our way in a safe environment. And it's going to work, because it's working now. It's in the process of stuff. After this next Tuesday show, we're going to do that. And I always say this, for our artists, those future artists, people that have lost homes and things like this, the Dream Weaver Artist Ranch is our place where we're going to be. This is where we're going to be showcasing everything. Katerina is going to be speaking there. She's going to be one of our main speakers. Terri will be working out there in the wood gym that I find. A lot of Europeans love our wood gym. And Rob, you already know that you're going to be performing there. You don't know who, but I have special guests that you're going to be performing with.
How about that?
Yeah,
I can't wait to hear.
That's a good thing. So Katerina, give your social media links for everybody.
Sure, absolutely. I've got one of those unique names, so I can actually use my full name. It's Katerina Cozias across the board: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course my website for more at KaterinaCozias.com.
Terri, give yours.
Terri Marie Nonstop on all platforms, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And then my website is TerriMarieOfficial.com.
And Rob, yours?
Well, they changed a little bit from one to the other, because Rob Robinson, believe it or not, is a more common name than you would think. But it's RobRobinsonMusic.com. That's my website. I believe Facebook is Rob Robinson Musician, and Instagram is rob.robinson. And I think that's pretty much it. I do have a Twitter feed too, but I can't think what it is right now.
That's okay. We got you covered with your site and Rob Robinson Music and everything like. And this is what I tell everybody: there's only one Rob Robertson. At that point, Robbie Robinson, who won individual snare.
There you go.
No other Robs have won that. Talk about that real quick.
Well, there actually was another Rob to win individuals. Rob Carson, who I happen to be pretty good friends with. We chat back and forth occasionally. He was actually a really important person in the picture of DCI individuals. A lot of people really wanted to be Rob, and fortunately, I got to be in his shoes, sort of in a very quick time period. After he won his last championship in '78, I won in '79. So, and then went forward. But one of the things I wanted to just say, Brian, was that the new album is in the fall, I guess, is going to be coming out, and you can still get some of the new music on Spotify, Apple Music. It's out there, check it out. And if you have a chance to download it, I would love it, appreciate it. Most of all, just listen to it.
And you got a musical too, is that right?
A musical?
Yeah, Rob Robinson musical. Is that true or no?
No. I just watched a musical on TV. I watched that movie, The Heights. Has anybody seen that yet?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! If you haven't seen it, please do yourself a favor. It was amazing. Just the most incredible writing and lyric writing and music. It was just absolutely incredible. I hope I'm allowed to give it a pitch here because it's a fan pitch, not just a industry pitch. It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
It is movie reviews and more. So, Katerina, you were also, instead of reading, you were watching TV too, which was a first for you. Talk about what you saw. That series.
I know. It's funny because I haven't watched TV in a long time. You know what? The one that I just finished, actually, Brian, was called The Last Tsar, and it was a period piece about the fall of the Russian monarchy and sort of communism and that whole Bolshevik. But I love history. I'm a history buff, so that was my my last big binge.
So Terri, when she told me that, my mouth dropped. And I'm like, here I am. I'm reading more books than I'm watching movies. And she's watching TV shows and not reading books. I said, maybe I'm supposed to be doing it.
Please stop.
Terri, what have you been watching? We got about 2 minutes. What are you doing?
I'm gonna be quite honest. I haven't had any time to watch anything. I haven't. I've either been working or I've been at the gym or I've been, helping out my mother with stuff. So I haven't really watched anything in the last 3 weeks.
All right. My sweet godmother came back for the ending. All right, Maria, if we have you, and you know what? Don't worry about it. We're going to have you back.
Hello. I just thank you. I did hear some of the conversation that you were talking, all of you, and it wasn't clear everything. It was a great interview that you did. Have a great time, all of you.
Thank you.
And let's hope we meet again.
Yes, sir.
We are going to meet again. All right. So for Maria and Katerina, you guys will exchange information later. But Maria, talk about why you love your home country. She froze again.
Just can't keep that connection.
I was going to say, we got to give it to her because, again, she's in the same time zone I'm in right now, and it's 3 a.m. for her. So you're a trooper, Maria. Thanks for being here.
Exactly.
It's 3:50 actually, almost 4.
Oh, man.
It's almost 4. I am, Brian. It's almost 4.
Maria, we'll do what makeup for you specifically for you. Don't worry.
You're great, all of you.
Don't worry about it. So as we're leaving, I have to always say this with this.
I don't know what is wrong.
Don't worry about it. But here's the thing. Check out Socrates and Soc. Go to Amazon. You can buy it from there. And also check out Hashmark Publishing International. And yes, we will have my Greek godmother back on. Maria will be back on. That's for sure. And here's the one thing I say about everything. Before we leave, if you see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours because the world needs it. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More. Please check out everybody's website. Check out Katerina's books. Check out Rob's music. Never mind Nonstop. No, support her too. We've got to do all this. We will see you next week.